When the conflict in the Ukraine started, especially as suddenly as it did, the ripples through the economy were seen almost immediately. However, when we saw the Israel-Gaza conflict and it was just as sudden, we did not see that immediate impact on the economy, but we are going to start seeing it, and it's going to affect your finances in a couple of different ways. So let's dive right into it. All right, the first way that we are going to see this conflict, especially if it starts this kind of domino effect where other groups are starting to get involved in it, which they already are, is this. So Red Sea attacks worry shipping companies even as U.S. sends warships. So this is Yemen forces that have been kind of harassing and attacking shipping in the Red Sea, which leads to the Suez Canal, which is not far. If we look at this area, so this is kind of the area we're talking about. Of course, this is Israel-Gaza conflict, not far from the Suez Canal. And this is Yemen down here where this article is being written about. But there are lots of other actors here that if they wanted to take the opportunity to create a problem in the Suez Canal or the Red Sea would not be very hard. So why is this so important to you and your finances? It's because it is the epicenter of shipping in the world. If you are going to send products from Asia to Europe or the East Coast of the United States, then they're most likely going to go by boat because that's much cheaper. And they are probably going to go through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal because your only other option is to go south around Africa, which literally adds weeks onto the transit of that ship and lots of money and operating costs. So a good example, most people probably remember back in 2021 when the Ever Given got stuck in the Suez Canal and it shut down the canal shipping for weeks. And you saw that almost immediately around the world within a week or two where supplies were not coming in, things were not getting delivered on time, kind of a mini COVID effect of kind of shutting down shipping. A similar thing you might remember was back in 2011, there was this kind of internal Egyptian struggle with, there was a lot going on in this, but most of the world saw this as kind of an internal Egyptian thing. But anyone who understands like really important geopolitics understands that Egypt equals the Suez Canal, and the Suez Canal is so incredibly important. Throughout all of this, it was very interesting that all of the different sides never made it very clear that the Suez was never in any type of jeopardy because they did not want foreign influence coming in and saying, look, if you guys cannot keep the Suez Canal safe, then we are going to have to come in and do it. When you transit through the Suez, I've done it in a US Navy warship. When you go through it in a warship, this is it. It's really long. It takes like a full day to go through. And there is an Egyptian soldier standing about every 100 yards on both sides with a rifle. And then on either side of you is a Jeep traveling with a bunch of guys with machine guns and rocket launchers, all sorts of weaponry designed to keep that convoy safe if there was some type of a terrorist attack or anything on the convoy. So this area cannot be understated how important it is. Now, the second way that this is going to affect your finances is really understanding why the military, our military, the US military, is so expensive. That's because the vast majority of militaries of the world, even most of our allies, are defensive in nature. They are built to defend themselves from foreign attack or to project influence somewhere in their local area, right? In Europe. But the US military, the Navy specifically, although the Army and the Air Force are the same way, is built as a force projection military, which means they are designed to be sent across the world and stay there for long periods of time and be able to influence that area, like the Suez, right? That's what the article is all about. The US Navy is going to be sending warships to the Suez in order to secure it. And that is incredibly expensive. It requires you to have foreign bases like we have in Italy and Southeast Asia. It requires you to have logistics all over the world to be able to support forces that are deployed there. And it requires you to have things like nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, nuclear-powered submarines, which are all very expensive, but they can drive across oceans very fast without having to be refueled. So this conflict, along with the Ukraine conflict, is really stepping up US military spending, which is going to have to be paid for by the US population, right? So, and I've already done a video on that, which is right here, which is really talking about this idea of, are we winning the Cold War 2.0 arms race? So I would direct you over there if you're interested in that. Otherwise, I hope this has been informative. I will talk to you soon.